The investigation into Joe Shymanski's murder began on September 4, 2023, when sheriff's deputies in Calvert County, Maryland, responded to a missing persons report. Joe Shymanski, a well-known photographer, had not been seen by his ex-wife, Heather Snyder, who had arrived from Pennsylvania to drop off their children at Joe's house. Despite the house being empty, with Joe's car in the driveway and his keys and phone left behind, there was no sign of him. Authorities immediately started searching the property, using drones and questioning neighbors. No one knew where Joe was, and something felt off about the whole situation. Heather, confused and upset, contacted Joe's family and friends, who shared her concern. His neighbors confirmed they hadn't seen him since the previous day, further deepening the mystery. As the search continued, investigators found signs that something sinister had occurred. The next morning, blood was discovered in Joe's driveway, suggesting that something tragic had taken place. As Heather Snyder was questioned by authorities, investigators learned she had recently ended a relationship with a man named Brandon Holbrook, whose presence near Joe's home on the day of Joe's disappearance raised suspicions. Holbrook, who had a criminal history, was soon identified as a person of interest. His truck had been tracked in the area, and investigators began to dig deeper into his background. Holbrook had been involved in several previous criminal incidents, including multiple counts of indecent exposure. When authorities found Holbrook's truck, they also discovered items that indicated a possible connection to Joe's murder, including gloves and plastic sheeting, along with traces of blood in the vehicle. Holbrook was arrested for Joe's murder, and further investigation uncovered evidence suggesting his involvement in both the crime and the cover-up. The investigation led to an area near Holbrook's home in Pennsylvania, where human remains, identified as Joe's, were found in a wooded clearing. Forensic experts confirmed that Joe had died from a gunshot wound to the head, and his manner of death was ruled a homicide. Holbrook's arrest and the discovery of Joe's remains shocked Joe's family and friends, who were already mourning his sudden disappearance. They were especially disturbed by the possibility that Holbrook had been motivated by his obsession with Heather Snyder, Joe's ex-wife. Despite this, there were growing suspicions that Heather herself might have been involved in the crime. Her behavior surrounding Joe's disappearance, including the speed with which she reported it, raised questions. Her subsequent actions seemed suspicious to Joe's family, who believed she may have had a hand in orchestrating the murder. As the investigation continued, Heather Snyder maintained her innocence. While she denied any involvement in the murder, she was placed under increasing scrutiny by Joe's family and friends. They speculated that she had been driven by a combination of factors, including a heated custody battle with Joe, a life insurance policy with the children as beneficiaries, and her complex relationship with Holbrook. In March 2025, Brandon Holbrook's trial began. Prosecutors focused on the evidence linking him directly to Joe's murder. Surveillance footage placed his truck near Joe's home, and investigators suggested that Holbrook had been involved in the burning of Joe's remains. However, Holbrook's defense team attempted to shift the focus onto Heather, claiming that she had a strong motive to have Joe killed, particularly in light of her custody battles and financial interests. Despite the lack of direct evidence connecting Heather to the murder, the defense team presented a case that painted her as the mastermind behind the crime, suggesting she had encouraged Holbrook or even directly plotted the murder. Holbrook was ultimately convicted of first-degree premeditated murder. In the aftermath of the trial, Heather Snyder gave an exclusive interview where she denied any involvement in Joe's death. She explained that her relationship with Holbrook had ended before the murder, and that she had no knowledge of his plans. She was adamant that she had not played a role in the crime, despite the growing suspicions surrounding her. The case remains unresolved for many, especially those close to Joe, who still believe Heather Snyder may have played a role in his death. The investigation continues, and although Holbrook has been convicted, questions remain about the true extent of Heather Snyder's involvement. As of now, Brandon Holbrook is appealing his conviction, and a scholarship has been established in Joe's name to support photography students in Washington, D.C. public high schools. The Shymanskis continue to seek justice and closure in the wake of Joe's tragic death.